I saw three freaking squad. I can't even speak. Three squads, round two closing. What are we doing? Yo, what's good, everybody? This is just the next installment of the Apex assessment. Call it part two. Part one was season 27 patch notes, so we're at season 28. It's finally here, and a lot of interesting changes. A lot of interesting changes. I was gonna post this before the patch, but then had to post it after it launched. It's still the day of though, and yeah, just lots of thoughts. I'll get to the stuff that is a little bit more on the rough side, but yeah. Um, just want to go through a brief overview of everything here. So some of the big takeaways. I'm not gonna read through all the patch notes because I definitely want this to be more of an assessment than just going through everything step by step because you can get that from anywhere really. But in terms of the Hardlight and Mesh, I think the windows are pretty cool. Being able to have it so that the blue windows are 200 HP and the purples are 1250. Pretty cool. Um, Interesting dynamic with certain guns like shotguns and snipers being able to break it easier, certain abilities being able to break it easier like Fuse Q or Vantage Sniper or stuff like that. Um, Nades being useful on those, and yeah, I think it gives a lot of power to controller legends. And I think it's gonna show up way more in competitive Apex than it does in ranked. And we'll get to why I think then for ranked later. Um, yeah, they just have all the baseline stuff about it, but basically all you need to know is that a lot of the regular windows that we had got replaced with like these glass windows, and they're breakable, and like certain legends, the controller legends can make them more difficult to break. Um, and the controller legends can reinforce up to 4 of them, which I think is pretty cool. Um, this is the part that is um cool, I guess. Like they're just saying for the matchmaking itself. Um, and I really noticed this to the second half of last split where they made the adjustment so Diamond 3 and up were in most of the Pred lobbies. So if you were in like playing high level Diamond lobbies like I was for parts of the split, it was definitely noticeable. Like if you were Diamond 4, it was a little bit easier, but a lot of people got hard stuck Diamond 3 because it was like there'd be lobbies of like 7+ Masters teams and 7+ Pred teams sometimes. Like there'd be like 4 or 5 Diamond like teams in the lobby, and the rest of them are Masters and Preds. So very, very interesting. I think it was very competitive though. I wasn't mad at that at all. Like I like having a challenge. I like the higher end of the players being at like a higher tier and not matchmaked with everybody else. I still think that Apex needs to kind of do away with MMR. It gets annoying when I see like, for example, like I watch as Watson all the time, and he'll like get to Diamond 3 or something, and his MMR is higher than the other like Diamond 4, Diamond 3 players, so he can't get a Q. I just think like all the Diamond players, because a lot of them are like pro players, like it'll be Imperial Hell and all those people, and like the fact that he can't get a Q but other people can't is just weird. And also on top of that, just like people essentially being gifted easier routes to get to the same rank doesn't really feel right. You should just all get pulled to the same people. So if everybody's Diamond, just good, bad, or indifferent, all the Diamond players should play against each other, and the people who are worse at the game will filter out down to the other ranks. Like, you shouldn't get like some magical queue that allows you to go against the easier players at Diamond to play against. I do understand though the difference between like it definitely seems, especially if you're solo queuing, you get like slightly better teammates sometimes, and they sometimes make it so that you, what's the right word for it? Well, it's a hit or miss. It depends on how high you are. If you're like really high ranked, sometimes you get really bad teammates. But I've noticed that if you're solo queuing and you're able to climb, it's like if you're plat 4, like most of your teammates will be plat 4. If you're like Diamond 4, most of your teammates will be Diamond 4. If you're Diamond 3, most of your teams will be Diamond 3. If you're Diamond 2, most of your teams will be Diamond 2. So they kind of like put you on an even playing field, kind of ranked with. Like it's not like you're just getting like Diamond and plat. More recently, in the last few seasons, I've noticed that, but most of the time I'm with the stack, so I could be incorrect on some of that. But that part I definitely get. That part like where you make it so that 3 stacks are in like lobbies with more 3 stacks, I think makes sense. I even have thought of like having completely separate queues or making it so that in ranked people can't three stack, especially pros, because I think that it scales it exponentially, the difference. Like if you're more than duo queuing in pred and you're just running up the score to get to like hundreds of thousands of RP throughout the season, that doesn't quite feel right in like almost every other competitive game, whether it's like Valorant or like other games. It's just like it's very noticeable that you can't do that for a reason. Um I remember Marvel Rivals very early on realized that that was going to be a problem and limited how many people can stack. So it wasn't just pro teams like destroying people in eternity. Like it was just like I feel like it's a normal thing for games when you get to that level of play where you're like basically like a pro level like player to not make it so that you can just stack with pro level players and just never lose a game, because that's kind of like weird, in my opinion at least. But moving on, audio updates. I really hope that this fixes the issue that we had when they introduced Focus Mix, where the audio was a lot better, like a lot better on Focus Mix, but it was like if people are shooting at you from far, somebody could kind of walk up on you close and you wouldn't really hear them. So they said that they split the enemy and the bullet impact audio. So I hope that kind of goes to fix that a little bit, because it was kind of annoying that like you'd be shooting at somebody far and then somebody would just kind of appear in your face or appear behind you and you wouldn't hear them because it was prioritizing the bullet sounds over like also getting enemy sounds too. So hopefully that works. And then the changes with the dialogue seems to be really good. I saw a little video about it, and like being able to like not always hear like that loud blaring sound and the ring is closing and stuff. Like once you get to a certain level, it's like you can tell when the ring is closing. You can just look at your screen, look at your mini map, like, and know what's going on and be aware of your surroundings. So you don't necessarily need an announcer for everything, or all the ping dialogue, or like you're pinging a gun and it gives you all this information. You could just kind of like limit all of that. Even some of the voice lines is a little bit annoying from time to time and can really clutter what you can hear. So hopefully this goes a long way to making everything like more seamless. Even when you're like solo queuing and have to like ping for information and stuff like that, if your teammates are not really like communicating with you. Um, in terms of the fuse update, so for these legend update, fuse very interesting. No longer slowed when taking explosive damage. The essentially the tactical fires a little bit faster, but it doesn't last for as long. But it does more damage per tick. So I don't really know how to feel about this. Early impressions is just kind of mid. Same thing with the ult. I thought the ult would be kind of broken, but every time I've seen it, it doesn't look that impressive. But I think Fuse will be stronger in a comp environment than ranked or pubs, to be honest. Like it's just like you have to be in a like type of mode where people are incentivized to play their life and play buildings and bunker up and be uncontrolled legends to kind of get the value out of Fuse. So I think in this kind of like AP like ranked like situation right now, I don't really know how much, if any, value you're gonna get in Fuse, because a lot of people are like running it down or not really bunkering up in any way. Um, in terms of the upgrades, the fire upgrade I think should be better in terms of like if you're really trying to compete, but the knuckle jumper just looks cool, man. It just looks cool. It looks like you're basically like throwing your Q at your feet and then taking an octane pad. And you get like really decent height and really decent distance depending on if you're sliding for it or if you're just jumping straight up. So it's cool, man. It's cool. I definitely recommend people trying it out. Just if you like movement, like especially if you're an M&K player, you might enjoy it. Even though you can't really like double jump or anything off of it, like I think you can tap strafe off the initial jump if you time it right, but you can't really like tap strafe in air as well. So just something to test out and see how it goes. And the you can't really test this in the firing range, but the dealing explosive damage, recharging your ultimate, I'm interested in again how it looks if you're playing in like real lobbies where people are trying to win and trying to stay alive till top 10, top 5 instead of ranked where it feels like everybody's just kind of running it down. Um or pubs especially. In terms of Catalyst, I really love the biggest change they did with Catalyst is they just made the wall like way better. So it's a little bit taller, it's a little bit longer, and it's also like if you hold it, like if you ADS hold, you can make it horizontal, which is really good quality of life change, because you used to have to go to the end of an area, line yourself up, like shoot it out, and then it would cover that space, and it was kind of annoying. So I really like that quality of life change and just a buff in general. Um, doubling the amount of doors you can reinforce from 2 to 4. Amazing. They made the spike so much bigger. It's very noticeable that the Q is way bigger now. So your tactical is way better. It activates a little bit faster, especially if you get like one of the perks for it. And you have more traps, so you can have 3 instead of 2. I think 3 was when it came out at launch. It was like that, and like Cat was really strong on launch before they like kind of, I don't want to say nerfed her to the ground, but nerfed her to the point where she wasn't a much pick. Um, and I really thought like for the last season especially, she felt like the worst controller legend out of all of them. So I'm glad she's getting a buff. Should be fun. And like I like Cat meta. I just don't like the Cat Seer interaction that she had at launch, where you were just shooting at diamonds through a wall. That was kind of lame. But Cat itself is a really cool character. Um, like in isolation. So I think this should be good. And I talked about the ult and everything. For Bloodhound passive's better with the Ravens. The scan is better. It's a little bit longer, and with certain perks, you can make the scan like for the full body longer too. All really good. I love that they nerfed the cooldown on the ult from like 4 minutes to 2.5 minutes, because 90 seconds is a big deal in Apex. Especially as you get to higher and higher levels, like wanting to get the uptime on your ults to win fights, and activation time reduced, so it just comes out a little bit seamless. It looks like the put away, like after you when you click it, the scan itself comes out faster, but when you're pulling out your gun, it's still really slow. So like if somebody's rushing you and you try to get info and you scan them, like I kind of get concerned with Bloodhound that like you might not even want to scan when people are running at you, because it's like if you scan when they're running at you, it might result in you having to like just get cooked, because like you might take 50 damage or 100 damage before you get your gun out, depending on how close they're swinging you. So like if you hear that they're super close when they're swinging you, you might not want to scan, to be honest. Because the animation is still pretty slow pulling, and I wish they were able to speed that up. Like the first part is perfect. Like you basically click it and it's almost like an insta scan, but then to pull out your gun, I would want that animation to be way faster, so it's like not that you're stuck like looking at the sky. You can't pull out your gun to shoot people. So that's just my opinion. Um, but also I love that there's a perk now where you can get 50 health siphon, basically. The Taste of Blood one. That's probably gonna be my favorite perk in like the entire season. Just being able to get that, because I used to play Bloodhound a lot. Bloodhound was like my highest game legend for a long time, and when they nerfed Bloodhound to the ground, it was really annoying, because sometimes I would go AFK or I wouldn't notice somebody took the character I was playing, like if I was playing Bangalore or something, and then it would auto pick Bloodhound, because Apex is just set up that the whoever you is your most like games, it's not even most kills, but most games. I learned when I was like trying to undo that is it, so I had to play a lot of games on Bangalore and Mad Maggie to make it so that those were my default picks, because I was like way more happy playing those characters while Blood was nerfed to the ground. Um, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. The ult should be pretty good. There's a like cooldown perk they can do. Not for ult, for the tactical. But also the ult should be really good with the 50 health thing too. Um, Crypto, pretty sure they just made this nerf beforehand, and they used to say in the patch like, "Oh, we this is a previous hot fix, but we're putting it in here." But now they're not saying that, so I don't know if they did more, if it's just the same nerf that they did middle of the end of last split, where they just made it so that the perk where you get like ult charge for scanning people doesn't activate as quickly, because you used to be able to like chain EMPs together if people were like close in proximity or in a building together, and it was really annoying. So it was like very overpowered. Um, this path thing, I'm pretty sure this means that the feeling zippy perk, where you can get 2 ultimates on purple armor or purple evo, allows this both the ults to be energized, because before, if I remember correctly, the ults was not energized, and that's a really huge deal, because like everybody would just take the 2 grapples, because it's like, why wouldn't I want my ult to always be energized? And like you can't have it energized when you pop it if you were taking the 2 ults. So I thought that was like very unnecessary for them to do. And like it's actually an option now. Like, do you want to be more mobile or do you want to have more team mobility, you know? Um because like the cooldowns on the grapple are really long, but when you have 2 grapples, it's like a lot better. Or you can have 2 ults and it's like you can get your team like across like an entire POI with 2 ults. or like even 2 POIs or 2 ults. So like that's a huge difference now if you're not just gonna get like all your health taken away and it's like energized or reinforced or whatever you want to call it. This is also I think was a hot fix from beforehand, so but they mentioned it here, so maybe it's a little bit more substantial now when they reduce the stem shares with the perk and stuff like that. But we'll see in game. All these weapon changes, not really that important to me. New inspect animations, whatever. The G7 looks insane. Putting it in the care package, it looks literally I would take the G7 over the Kraber. I'm not even trolling. Like you just kill people in like a second, like when they're standing still. Obviously like to apply it in game is gonna be a little bit harder, but I think the G7 is crazy. And then they nerfed a lot of the marksmen, so I think it's gonna lean into more of an AR meta like R301 Flatline. I low key think the best like loadouts in the game might revolve around the Nemesis when people peep game, because I think the Nemesis is still really strong, but people like stopped running the Nemesis because G7 was on the ground and G7 was so good. Like a lot of people would just go to the light rack and pick G7 R9 and just have a great old time. But now that the G7's in the care pack, I think Nemesis is going to be really good. I think P20s are going to be really good, but a lot of people hate the P20s because of the RNG of the hip fire sometimes. So like I think the go-to loadout low key should be Nemesis R9. Shotguns are gonna be a little bit better with all the hop ups. They changed the Mastiff. In theory, it should be more consistent, even though like the max damage is like one less. So instead of 96, it's 95. But like because they like lessen the amount of pellets that you have to hit, and it's like a different blast pattern, it's technically a little bit more consistent. And I think this is meant to be a buff. Not gonna lie. So consistent Mastiff, hopefully good. Um, Eva 8 looks a lot better with the Titan blast pattern. Like Eva 8 was really dog water at mid range. So hopefully it's way better now. Um let's see what else. The dual cell hoppers will be cool with the guns that it has it for, the massive and the repeater, but whatever. I don't think the repeater is gonna be that good. Like some people are gonna still run it because out of all the like marksmen, it probably has the biggest like default damage that's like consistent kind of. Because like if the triple take is not like fully choked, sometimes you're doing like 20 a bullet, but while at the repeater at your floor you're hitting 41 damage. So repeater is probably the best out of a remaining marksman that's on the floor, but you'll figure that out. I think they also made it with the hardlight stuff that like snipers are way more valuable because it does more damage to them. So some people might run snipers if you really want to run long range, but I really think the marksman class is like not gonna be it this season. But I could be wrong. It could be different in comp when people prioritize like being able to do entry damage from a distance and then quickly like closing the gap to finish fights. Or just griefing people from long range when you're like see them engaging in a fight, see if you can steal KP. So it might be different in comp than ranked in pubs and stuff like that. Um, all the other hop ups is like whatever. I think hammer points on P20s again is going to be really strong. So having hammer points on P20 is strong. Disruptors on PK is strong, but you have to do 500 damage to unlock it. And who's like, unless you're playing pubs or something, or you're hard running PK, like having to do like 500 damage to get like that 100 pump on the PK, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Because I think default right now is like a 90 pump, and then if you have disruptors, it's like 107. So it is really good. But like that's like basically the when they nerfed the PK, like when it was meta, like beginning of I think it was like last season or something like that, or season before. Like the PK was like 108 max pump, but like what's it called? Now it's 90. So even with the hop up, it's like 107. So it's still worse than what it was before. So I don't know if it's a must pick because 108 PK definitely a must pick off drop, but having to do so much to get like almost as much value, I don't know if it's worth it. RIP the Volt. The Volt felt so good last season. Having that graffiti mod felt amazing. And it was the same way, like I think they had it on the Spitfire sometime in one of the last few seasons too, where it felt so much better. Like the graffiti mod is like low key one of the like nicest, like just in terms of pure gunplay feeling mods in the entire game. Like out of any of the ones that you can like integrated hop ups, I think it's one of the best. So losing that on the Volts really sucks. But adding it to the L-Star and the longbow is gonna be interesting. I don't think it makes that much of a difference on the sniper, but the L-Star is gonna be singing. Like, people who really run the L-Star and, like, know the pattern, even if you don't know the pattern, just losing all that recoil and being able to, like, shoot a target and quickly shift to another target, like, people are just gonna, like, one-clip somebody and never have to reload, especially if you're on controller, like, L-Star might be underrated, like, a really, really, really good gun because you can, like, one clip 3 people, especially if you're playing a knockdown, and never have to reload your gun, which is a huge deal because a lot of times people lose 1v1s or like 1v2s or 1v3s because like they just have to reload the gun that they would get the kills with close range. So that takes away their uptime in the fight and they like take more damage than they would have initially or trade up less damage than you would have, you know. So yeah, I think it's a huge deal. And I don't think they added the gun shield generator to anything else, which really sucks. So the gun shield was like pretty cool, especially on the Hemlock. It was really good, and the R3. I mean, on all of them, it was like high value, like really high value. So I don't know. Maybe they think the gun shield is busted. His Watson propaganda, rain free, you know, whatever. But no, I thought the gun shield was really good. Low key. Um, Double tap on EVA 8 is gonna be fine, but I don't know if it's a game changer with people not running shotgun this much. Even though I think the EVA 8 mid range is so much stronger now. Um, Turbocharger decreased to 500. Like a lot of people run the Havoc because like it's just so strong if you could get to Turbocharger, but I don't know, man. Having to do 500 damage, is it worth it? I don't know. But like if you get it off drop and you do a contest and you like kill somebody, like kill a team with it, and then you just upgrade it and you get to 500 off of after the first fight, like then it could be like turbo busted and you're just like a raid boss. Like say you have Havoc and you have Bloodhound ult and Turbocharger. Ooh, like pray for that lobby because you're gonna be mowing through people. But just you just have to get there, you know? Just have to get there. Um the rest of the updates, like whatever. This was a really big change, especially for comp, because people would like, especially Newcastle teams, would allow themselves to get knocked by a team super far away, insta res, and just farm Evo to get to like closer to purple on like infinity. So even if their like knock timer was low, it was worth it if they're playing zone to kind of get just knocked for free and just like get purple armor, and you'd kind of like help each other. But I agree that this shouldn't be how the game should be played. So I agree with the Death Note. Like, yeah, we shouldn't be doing that, and there should be a limit to that. So you shouldn't be able to go from bottom of blue all the way to purple just like res farming people. Like that's kind of silly. And I don't think the answer was to like make it so that you insta die if you keep getting knocked. That wasn't the answer either. So I like that. That was a good change. Um, Huge changes. Knockdowns removed from the loot pool and white backpack like has your base. Really good. It was so annoying to like drop down and not be able to find a backpack so you can't hold anything. Like either you didn't have needs or you didn't have heals or you didn't have ammo. Like you could barely get like 2 stacks of ammo, like 2 stacks of heals and like a nade. Like it was just so bad. So this being the baseline, I thought it should have been like this seasons ago, like actual seasons ago. And then the knockdown is just a quality of life change because you're gonna have so much better loot not looting knockdowns, like not being like, oh, you found a purple shield. Like I always have to give that to my Newcastle. Like we just have to all earn it. We just have to all earn better knockdowns by like playing the game, which I think is always good. Like once you reward playing the game, I think that's good. Um, the maps are fine. I don't hate Broken Moon. I hate Broken Moon with how ranked is right now, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it is what it is. But I love E District. World Edge is cool. So this map rotation could be worse. I just feel like sometimes it feels like they shoehorn like one of the maps that the community doesn't like as much with two of the maps they do like more. So like last split it was like, okay, we're playing Stormpoint and E District and Olympus. You know, like I don't know, you know. Um yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Um Yeah, I don't know. For ranked, this is my gripe. I think the rest of this. Let me make sure I go through the rest of this. Wildcard, I don't really care about. Bot Royale, I don't care about. Apex bots, I don't care about. Bug fixes. There was a weird like ring bug. Was like whatever. Don't really care about that. I love that they fixed some of the FOV like stuff, and I love that they fixed the Valk bug because there was this bug where it's like if you like ulted on Valk and then a Trident drove over you and stopped you from ulting, you'd just be able to play the game with purple wall hacks of Valk ult, and I'm like, that obviously should be removed. That was stupid. So I'm glad they fixed that. Um, Engine improvements are always good, so hopefully it's good. The wishlist thing is pretty cool because like you can kind of upgrade your packs now, and then like if you have legends that you want skins for and you set it as your wish list, then you can get like some of the stuff for that legend. So being able to kind of like maximize the RNG of the loot that you get if you get a free Apex pack or if you buy packs, I think that's awesome. But yeah, I'm someone who like doesn't usually have money for some of these stuff, so being able to get some stuff for free, like especially like making it more of the stuff that you want is always a good thing. Um, but last but not least, this rank change. Oh my gosh. This was so unnecessary. Like, I'm gonna just read this out loud so you can hear what they said. Ranked. Drop zones disabled and ranked. All ranked matches returning to the singular dropship deploy with jump masters leading your sky dives into the BR, putting the game start back into your hands, legends. Dev note. Drop zones was a big change for ranked, a way to bring fairer and faster starts to the ranked experience. While we saw positive reactions and outcomes for some players, it was not a universal win for everyone. Some players felt that having randomly assigned drop zones deterred them from the playstyle they wanted and greatly impacted their outcome. For now, returning to the big dropship brings us back to known ground and puts full control back in your hands. We are still working out what the future looks like for drop zones as part of the overall future of ranked and competitive play. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This was so this was so stupid. Like like oh my gosh. They basically made ranked into like pubs again. Like the whole reason why we had the POI dropship was because especially if you're solo queuing, you wouldn't get jump master and somebody would just land you with quite literally half the lobby. Why are we doing that? Like everybody was just like ego dropping, dying off drop, and you would just like sometimes you'd play such a good game, you'd have W randoms, you'd be in such a good mood, and then you'd be in diamond and somebody just hot drops you somewhere for no reason. You get like a gun out of a pill, don't even get ammo, almost 1v3 a team, and then you get shot in the back by another team. Instant negative 65. Like that's literally how it was. Like, what are we doing? Like it was so infuriating, and the dropship, like it didn't fix it with the POI dropship, but it made it so much better. Now I literally saw people today, and I'm glad I'm recording this after because I know I'm not even conjecture, it's like proven. I saw three freaking squad. I can't even speak. 3 squads round 2 closing. What are we doing? There's 6 rounds in a full BR match. That means that before half the match was done, there was 3 squads alive. Before the zone was like even close to finishing, it was 3 squads alive. What are we doing? Games are ending in round 3 and round 4 max. Like it is so bad. Please revert that. There is no reason for it. They did a great job with fixing all the hot fixes. And I want to say this, like this is the worst change they've ever done since season 23 when it was a triple support meta. Like triple support was a cool idea, but in effectiveness, it just made the game not nearly as fun, and a lot of people like mass exodus the game. And that's what I think is gonna happen if they keep this up. People got so used to having ranked like at least be playable, and then they just put this back in the game, and it just feels like they undid all the progress they did for the last 5 seasons. Not even trolling. Like I don't know what they're doing. And it's like it is scary to watch. Like as freaking Dave Chappelle would say, scary to watch. Like, what are we doing? Like, please don't do that. Like the POI draft is just not the draft, the POI dropship. I know some people didn't get like random POIs, like, and they're like, oh, I just insta die. Like, for example, if you die, if you like landed Fight Night or Stabilizer or something on Olympus, then you felt like you insta died because there was 5 teams around you and they were all so close. certain points on E District kind of similar, but E District I thought was way better. Um, Storm Point was overall pretty good, but like if you're landing like Ferrari or something, or like where the Trident is, or whatever people want to call it, like kind of not as fun. But like that was more an issue of one. There would be times when the POI like random dropship would land you at no name POIs instead of actual like named POIs that have a good amount of loot. So like for the actual like maps that had like loot that you can have at a different POI that wasn't taken, they should always prioritize the named POIs instead of the no name POIs. That's first of all. I thought that was stupid that like it worked like that, because sometimes it would be like somebody's on East Trail, like right under Lightning Rod, and all of Pylon would be free, which made 0 sense. Like literal 0 sense. Like I don't know why the algorithm worked that way. They got to find some way to code that in. Like I don't think it can be that hard. The other thing is with the POI like dropship, it was like what's that called? With those like POIs, like for example, like I think like E District has exactly 20 POIs, for example. You just need to buff some of the loot in some of those POIs. Like add a few pills. Like I don't think it's like people being like, oh, I don't have any loot. That's like a map design problem or like a POI design problem. That's not a problem with the random POI drop shit, you know? So like I was really upset with that. Like if you're gonna fix rank, this is not the way to do it. Like putting this back doesn't fix anything. It doesn't make anybody happy. And like people might think it makes them happy, but then they'll see everybody around them molding and being like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Because like everybody's molding. Everybody's like, okay, we're just playing TDM with no revives and ranked right now. We're all just dropping at 2 or 3 POIs and insta dying, and the map is over by round 3. Like that's not that fun. It's really not that fun. And if you want to do that, at the very least split it so that nobody above like plat or above diamond has to experience that. Because once you get to that level, like it would be nice to play a game that in any way resembles like what competitive Apex is. And that's basically what I have to say. Like shout out to Respawn. They've done a lot of good things. I like how many people they have in the creator club. It's like popping. People getting new season access, like having codes. Like they've done so much things to improve the game. I think the Evo change was really good. I think um the POI dropship when they had it was really good. I think the things that they've done with different legends to shake up the meta and make the legends feel more powerful and impactful have all been good to overall raise the level of the game without making it completely and utterly like ability legends. It still feels like you get to play the game and shoot your gun, but the characters have a lot more meaning and a lot more purpose, and you can kind of like choose your own lane with everything that you do. Really good changes all the way around, especially the last 5 seasons. Like leaving the support meta to get to end of season 27, we were going a lot in the right direction. We do not need to regress by doing this. This is a really bad idea. And like day one, it looked bad. Before it dropped, it looked bad. Like I plead, like please, like there's literally a hashtag save Apex ranked on Twitter right now. Please fix this, please. Thank you. Like, but that's all I have to say. Please, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think, and peace, peace.